It's becoming a very hot topic in the industry to assure that providers have complete and accurate documentation on all their patients. It affects not only the care, continuity of care, but also it improves the revenue of that particular patient, and then across all patients due to the changes with documentation in the case mix index. Colleagues throughout the convention have told me that some of their CDI people, who are mostly clinical people, nurses, some physicians, work right on the floors with the doctors. I chose, with my program that started a year ago, to have them remote to enable the nurses to have the benefits of working from home. And by tapping into the electronic medical record that we have at Baystate, they don't have to come on site and deal with the doctor face to face. It is definitely a benefit for them and for me to recruit them. By having benchmarks and dashboards and metrics on their quality, it definitely convinced senior management of the increased revenue because of the more complete picture of the patient. And therefore my team has recently grown from 4 full-time CDI people to 10. Thereby, this is even going to bring greater benefits to Baystate Health. With 4 people, I'm only able to review around 25% of the patient population, which is around 800 beds. With the 10, I'm going to be able to review 100% of the patients, but one piece is missing, and that is we need to tap into new technology to make these 10 people more efficient. Without technology, it's like finding that needle in the haystack. One patient has a documentation opportunity. So with a natural language processing software, it can scour the EMR, and with filters and algorithms, it can pull out those patients that meet certain criteria and put it onto the CDI work list. And therefore, each time they touch a record, it most likely will lead into a query and therefore more complete documentation.
So the main thing that we are finding that clients really need is to figure out how to get the most efficiency out of these few key staff that they can, because let's face it, nurses are in a shortage, right? It's difficult to find qualified people to review these cases. And so we really focused our energy on how can we get the most information to those qualified individuals with the shortest amount of time. So we built some really interesting technology that actually analyzes the contents of the documentation, right, before anybody looks at it. So it can prioritize the most potentially impactful cases, move those to the top of the list. So in an institution like Baystate, where you have 800 beds, and at any given time you're trying to review 100% of those, well, you'd have to put an enormous amount of people against that, right? And healthcare likes to put people on problems that sometimes are better solved with technology. And so what we said is, well, wouldn't it be better if you could automatically prioritize based on the top 10, 20, whatever, however many different diagnosis codes you want to review? Let's move all those to the top of the list, right? And then those folks can better utilize their time. So I think that's one of the things that we do exceptionally well. And unlike a lot of systems in the market, we allow the customer to determine what are the different combinations of clinical elements they want to review, the lab elements they want to review. And so it's all configurable and customizable to each individual facility. So we find that being able to implement the entire product in an 8-week period gives them the opportunity to start to enjoy the financial benefits of that program much, much sooner, right? So instead of having this very elongated deployment process that with some folks could take upwards of 6 months or longer, right? You don't even get to start to enjoy the benefits of the technology for 6 months. With our product, within a couple of months, you're actually in and using the technology and getting the benefits.